Hi, my name is Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is January the 26th, and it's a Wednesday, of course. Great to see everybody here. Let me say hi to you, and then I'll start with the news and go into the topic of the week, which I chose for today. So David's here first, as always. He says, good morning, Aaron. Everyone in the chat, good to see you, David. Awesome. Bernard Smith, hello, Aaron, everyone in the chat. Looking forward to the information and any tips you have for us. Well, feel free to ask any specific questions. Like I said, you can ask them in the chat, and super chats are appreciated. Marianne's here. Hi, Aaron, everyone in the chat. Good to see you, Marianne. I hope you've been practicing your happy birthday song this week for next year. So not much news this week. The virtual NAMM was last week, and we started with the Silver Sky SE and the Martin guitar announcement, which was last week. Not much else was announced. I think other stuff will be held back for the June NAMM show, which I'm hoping to attend. I'll do my absolute best to attend the June NAMM show and do some videos and interviews and streaming while I'm there for you. But not much else was released. I think it's going to be held back for that show. And I also think stuff will be slowly leaked out and released over the year. I don't think the manufacturers are really sticking to the NAMM show tradition much right now, which makes sense because everything is so up in the air, and a lot of companies are now doing their own YouTube channels, their own video launches. They're not sticking to the NAMM schedule. So this year I expect it to be that way. Now there was an announcement today which Sweetwater told me about, which is kind of cool. Fender have some new guitars. Not a huge update, but they have these, and these look really cool. These are JV modified guitars. Here's the modified 50s Telecaster. Looks really nice. $12.99.99. That looks cool. And then there's the 60s custom Telecaster with the rosewood fretboard there. You see the dark rosewood. Same price. Very, very nice. I like these. These are cool. And there's also a JV modified 50s Stratocaster HSS. That's cool too. So that's got the humbucker in the bridge, which gives you more of a rock sound and less hum, which is always a good thing if you're playing heavy music. And the two single coils in the other positions there. You can see them. That's a cool guitar. And that's $13.29, a USA guitar. That is a good price, I would say. So interesting stuff here. Like some nice things they've brought out. I suppose these would have been for the NAMM show. What I heard was a lot of releases that do come around this time now would have been summer NAMM releases, because summer NAMM releases are usually smaller and the bigger releases are usually in January. But because there's no January show, those bigger releases will be moved to June, and then what would have come in June is coming now, or at least being announced now. That's the way it's working. They also have this Stratocaster, and they have these Jaguar. Now I like these. Check this one out here, this red one. So these are higher end instruments. These are 2,500, but that's really cool. And I think that's actually a good price considering what they were originally. I think this is like it's a 60th anniversary. So not a bad price considering the sort of prices we've seen lately on gear. Never played the Jaguar. I really would like to try one. A lot of people are put off by all these switches. You see it has all these switches up here and all these switches down here, as well as the knobs there. So they can be a bit off-putting. Still got the two single coils there. I would like to really, definitely like to try one at some point. That red is nice, look, sparkly red. Mystic Dakota red and Mystic Lake Placid blue. Slight sparkle to it, I like that. And I like the way the headstock matches the body as well. That's really cool. So that's some new releases that came today. If you want to check them out, then head over to Sweetwater. Use my link in the description of most of my videos. Please, it's an affiliate link, and just search for Fender and they'll come right up. They're the new releases. Marco, how you doing? Let's learn something. Well, today's less about learning, really. Today, I'm actually going to vent a bit. I'm going to try not to get too carried away. So do grab your popcorn, because I'm going to vent about firmware, the good and the bad of firmware updates. So I'm going to do that. And then if you have any specific questions you'd like to ask me, things you'd like me to talk about, then feel free to put it in the chat. And I'll just have a drink from the Sandhole Sniffer mug. Cheers. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to start with firmware, and then, like I said, you can join in with your experience of the topic, or feel free to ask me a question yourself about anything. It can be anything. It's fine. So firmware. Back in the 1980s, 1990s, you would buy a pedal, and that pedal would arrive, and that's what it was. Same with videos. That's related to video games as well, and computers, right? You'd buy a computer and it would come with the software, and it was what it was. They might send you an update CD that you update, or discs that you update the software with. With a pedal or a video game system, they just arrived and you used them, and that was it. There was no updates. So when you bought that pedal or that video game cartridge, that was what you got. And there tended to not be any bugs back then. I mean software bugs and firmware bugs. There tended not to be any, because they would have a real problem. If you bought a pedal that had a bug in it, you were stuck with that forever, and that would damage the reputation of the company and be very frustrating for users. So you tended to get stuff that was done out of the box. And same with video games. You got the video game that was done out of the box. You put the cartridge in, you played the game, that was it. I'm sure there were bugs at that time. I don't remember myself finding any. I'm sure there were bugs. But it was so important for them to have a solid product, because it couldn't be fixed later on. Well, once we had the dawn of the internet, of course, that changed, right? Once you can deliver software updates very quickly, you can change the whole device at any time. Like, take an iPhone. It's just a block of glass and processors, and they can change that whole look and interface and apps and functionality with a single update. And this is where things really started to change. And for me, I most noticed this with gear, mostly with something like the Line 6 Helix, because you got it out the box and it had certain functionality. But they've added, if we take that as a case study, from the date it was released to now, which is about 6 or 7 years, they've gone completely. They've added so much. I'm actually going to revisit this in the future when they do the next firmware update. But they've added tons more amps, tons more effects. I mean, and some legacy effects, which has doubled the amount of effects. They've added so many things, different pedals and functionality, and you can use it now to control your computer. The product they released is nothing like the product you get now. But to be fair to them, the product they released was very stable, but a little bit bare bones. It did what they said it would do. But now it does so much. It's like a completely different product if you compare the two things. And again, I won't talk about video games too much, but you could say the same thing with video games. Look at Cyberpunk that came out last year. Cyberpunk was released at a total mess. I never played it, but apparently it was a total mess. People were suing the company. It was so bad. They wanted their money back. And since then, they've been trying to update it, apparently, to fix it. And this is the danger. This is the danger of what can happen now. And this is what I've seen with a few products over the last 3 years. I don't really want to name products by name, but I guess I will have to. Again, I'm trying to be respectful here. I'm not here to be overly critical. Of course, I'm being critical, right? That's what I do here, but I'm doing it in a nice way. And there's always two sides to this stuff as well. So I'd love to know if you've had any experience with this in the chat, with anything, with updates and firmware. Now, before I get too negative, firmware is also a positive, isn't it? Because as well as the downside of you buy something that's not ready or got a problem and needs to be fixed, the fact is it can be fixed. In an ideal world, you get something like the Helix, where out of the gate, it's solid and robust and it works and it's got enough stuff in it. But then 5 years later, you've had all these regular updates every year that have just made it better and better and better. Or maybe that's the wrong word, but it's added more value, added more content to it. And I think that is a great thing. Don't get me wrong, that's incredible. It's incredible. Same with the Kemper. Kemper's had so many things done to it. When it released, it was a bit bare bones. Now it's got great effects, new drive pedals, and they've tweaked the algorithm. This has all been delivered with firmware updates. Actually, I believe Chris Kemper said that his company, is it Access? Yeah, Access. They were the first company to deliver a firmware update for their synth products in the beginning. So that's really cool. That is a great thing. If the product is good out of the box, good enough, what you paid for, what they promised, and then they make it even better, well, that's incredible. That is a great thing. Ecamm Live, I use Ecamm Live to stream, same thing. It's all this software, right? So when I first subscribed to it, it was good enough. It was fine. I was impressed with it enough to pay for the subscription. That's what I use to do my live streams and videos now. But every few months or 6 months or so, they add new features. They make it even more value for money. They keep adding to the value, and that will attract new customers as well. So I just noticed in the last kind of few years, there's several products that do have issues. And I think actually a lot of products do. I mean, one of my favorite pedals is the TC Helicon Play Acoustic. And in that pedal, every time I turn it on and have an expression pedal, extra foot switch is connected with the TRS cable, it boots up in boosted mode. So it's too loud. I have to click on the guitar boost twice, so turn it on and off again, and it resets it, and it's normal. So every time I go to a gig, I plug in my extra pedals, and I have to tap on the boost button twice, every time. That is a bug, but that's a very small bug that I've learned to live with. I wouldn't get rid of that pedal just for that. There's nothing else that does what that pedal does. I love that pedal. So I've just learned to live with that and adjust to it. So that's one thing. And also, TC Helicon are not really doing much these days in regards to firmware. Like that product is kind of end of life. They're not going to release any more firmware for it. They're done with that. So I don't expect them to. So that is what it is. I know that. And that's, for me, it's totally worth it because it's such a great pedal. But there's been some other pedals and gear where it's just kind of very frustrating. So I'll give you an example of something. Like the singular sound Aeros looper, right? Incredible form factor, touch screen. On paper, or as a sales pitch, it just sounds incredible. But it just lacked so many features that other loopers lacked for so long. I know we went through the pandemic, of course. I had them on here for an interview. And of course, they went through the pandemic. Some of their people got sick. Some of the people left. They've got new people. I don't mind talking about that now because they've actually added a lot to that firmware. If you get an Aeros looper now, the firmware is very good. It works very well as a looper. They've added a lot of functionality. They've added a lot of MIDI functionality. But it still won't import loops, which is why I'm still not using it as my looper of choice. But that is also promised to come. But my point with this is, how long do you have to wait? I'm being respectful to the companies because they do have a lot on their plate, and I appreciate them designing gear that is different and out there and unique, and that's not an easy thing to do. But at the same time, I'm talking as the customer today, and as the customer, when I buy something, it's very frustrating when it doesn't do all the things that I expect something like that to do. Now, on the flip side of that, if you do buy something, make sure you know what it's going to do and has a good return policy, because you should never buy something that promises updates. They may never come. What if the company closes down next week? You should buy something based on what it can do today. I see a lot of people now doing the opposite, though. I see a lot of people now buying stuff for the promises that are going to come, or in their mind that it will probably come because they've come with other gear. I don't agree with that. I think it sets a bad precedent to the company. I think it sets a bad precedent to yourself. I think you have to look at what the thing does and does for you, and then buy it when you're happy to do that. Certainly you mustn't complain about it after the fact because you've bought it. When you buy it, it is what it is. But it seems to me that we're getting very reliant now on these firmware updates. We're almost buying something because we think it's going to go a certain way. It's going to have certain things. I just think this is all my opinion, as it always is. I think that's just incredibly dangerous. So after about 2 years, this Aeros looper now, I can recommend it, and I probably will do a review soon. I'm just still holding out for that import loop feature. I don't understand why it's not there. Once that's there, I'll definitely review it and I'll fully endorse it. But until I want to make sure any gear I recommend on the channel, I'm fully into. Let's take another one. Let's talk about the quad Cortex. Everyone talks about the quad Cortex. Now, the problem with that is they messed up because when they released it, or before they released it, they said it will have X, Y, and Z at launch. And it launched and didn't have X, Y, and Z. That was a big mistake. I think they learned a lot from doing that, because now everyone's constantly saying, where's that editor? Where's that looper that you promised at launch? It's not there. See, that's taken it really far when the company says they'll have something and it doesn't, and then they say they'll add it later on. That's just really frustrating and really annoying for everybody involved. Now, I think it will come. I think they've put a lot of money into the Quad Cortex. It's going to be a great product. It's got a lot of horsepower and DSP. I'm not worried, but again, if you're going to drop $1,800 on a promise, that's a bit risky. And if you want to do it, it's fine. If you have faith in the company, you believe it will come. If you're happy with what it does today enough to buy it, that is great. I got one again. Well, the first one I got very frustrated with, and I sold it. The second one I now have, I got fully knowing that it may not come. So I got it really for the channel, and because I did want to take that risk, but I also still feel really kind of stressed about it. Like, are they going to release this software? When is it coming? What is going on? So that's the other side. Of course, they also released some plugins last year, which are really great, but everyone got even more frustrated because they said, well, if you can release plugins, why can't you release firmware for the Quad Cortex? Now, I think it's public knowledge that is in beta. So for me, that's a huge thing. If this update is make or break for me, it's either going to make it even better than it is now, and I definitely want to keep it, or if there's any kind of letdown in that update and no signs of another one coming very soon, I think that'll be the end of that product for me. But I'm waiting to see what happens. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. So the reason I'm talking about firmware today is we actually have a lot of firmware coming. We have a Helix update coming, which is quite a small update, but an update nonetheless. We have a Fractal update coming, which is fairly big, I believe. We have the Quad Cortex update coming, which I hear is a big update. It's 1.3. And with firmware, if you get like version 1 to 2, obviously is huge. Version 1.1 to 1.2 to 1.3 is new features. It's a fairly big update. And then 1.1.1, 1.1.2, that's a bug fix update. So no new features. Same as it works with Apple. So that's what I'm talking about today. And then there's yet more products. And these are just products that I'm familiar with. You know, there's also the JBL speakers. I love them. I think they're great. I think they're good enough. I'll recommend them. With mine, I take it to the gig, and I have been gigging with it. I'll plug my TC pedal straight in. It sounds great. That's all I really care about. The app does work. That's great. But I find that after 4 months that thing's been out, there's still some graphical glitches. There's still some bugs. It's still not as smooth as I thought it would be out of the gate, coming from such a major company. Now, you can argue that the latest iPhones had bugs too, and maybe some of them still do, that take a long time to iron out. When the new M1 chips came out from Apple, I found a bug in the display. I didn't stick with the first one of those I had because I had this bug that I found in the display, and I told the head people at Apple, and they never fixed it, never got fixed. But that's just an excuse, right? I'm just here to point these things out. Like I said, I'm not saying I could do any better. I can't make a pedal. I can't make software. It's very easy to criticize, but I'm really just putting this out there to people watching, that if you buy something, you should buy it based on what it does today and not what it promises to do in the future. And if you do buy it based on what it's promised to do in the future, then it's on you, and it's not fair to complain about it. It's okay to contact the company and say, hey, may I suggest that you add this feature or change this feature? And most companies have a thread on their forum where you can do that, or an address where you can send that feedback. But I just know right now a lot of people are complaining, and I'm guilty of this too, complaining about like the Quad Cortex. Like, where's the looper? Where are the plugin support? Where's the desktop editor? Where's this? Where's that? I have done it myself. It's very frustrating when you want these features that you don't have. But we have to remember that we bought it. We knew what it would do. Like I said, the only thing with that was they really shouldn't have announced that it'll have these things at launch when it didn't. But who knows? Maybe they had to get it out of the gate. Who knows? So that's my thoughts. Now, do you have anything with bugs in it? Do you have any pedals or computers where you have a bug and they haven't fixed it and it's really frustrating? Or you bought something that just lacked features that could be added with an update that was never added and annoyed you? Is this just me? That's what I'm saying. Is this just me? Now, this is why we love amplifiers, guitars, and acoustic guitars, electric guitars, because there's no software updates to install for them, right? So please let me know. Have you had anything, even the computer? It can be anything at all, like your phone. Have you ever had anything with a serious bug in it that never got fixed, and you just thought to yourself, why don't they fix that? Or a product that you purchased where there's just a glaring omission, like you buy a looper pedal and you can't import a loop. You can only make loops on the fly, something like that. Do let me know. Do let me know. That's my thoughts anyway. It's kind of a rant. I've got a lot of stuff sitting here right now that needs these updates, and I just can't wait for them. Hopefully this time next week they'll all release at once, and then I can make lots of videos on these updates. As long as I don't find more bugs in those updates, I'll be good. All right, who's here? Marco's here. And Patsy Smith watching from Leiston. And S. Willis says, hi, everyone. And Joe says, hi. Oh, Joe, you in England? Where's the Fire says, hi, guys, from Spain. Love my Play Acoustic. So, that's one of my favorite pedals, Where's the Fire. Now, do you use the Switch 3 or the Switch 6 with that pedal? Or do you just use it by itself? Please let me know. In fact, I might show that today because I've been thinking about that pedal a lot lately. Happy Wednesday from Rosanna. Oh, good. Lee's home early from work. Lee, did you find another guitar on eBay and did you get a refund? Ah, Where's the Fire? Are you talking about the Quad Cortex? Just wish it had a... Oh, no, better looper. What are you talking about? Let me know. I'm not sure which pedal you mean. Wish it had a better looper, but still thinks a great pedal. I bought it knowing what it does not. What it might do. Are you talking about the Play Acoustic? I purchased years ago for NHS Ghost software. Is dangerous, e.g. buying on the promises of manufacturers' releases to come. Yeah, I just think we've got to a stage now in the world where it's like firmware. The firmware will come. There's no problem. Buy it. Firmware's coming. Now, some of these products even have Wi-Fi built in, so you can download the firmware directly to the device, right? The Aeros and the QC have that. That's really cool, but then the irony is they're not getting updates. So like, you got the Wi-Fi in here. Where's my update? David Belcher says, hi, Rosanna and Lee. Joe says, I usually wait quite a long time after any software update is released before I update anything. Music, gear, phone, computer. Well, that's the other thing. The other thing with a firmware update is it can add problems. It can break other software. I do have sympathy for these companies. Like when Apple releases a new software update, it can break the plugins that you use. And then they've got to update those plugins. Actually, one more I forgot. Apollo Twin. I love Universal Audio. Amazing gear. I highly recommend it. I love my Apollo Twin. It's fantastic. But it still is not fully compatible with the new Apple computers. And they've been out for over a year. I have to, in order to run this, I have to turn a bunch of stuff off to run it. It's crazy. I want it to be fully native with the software. When they released these new computers, Ecamm Live, again, I'm using them to stream, had the M1 update out in a few weeks. I don't understand why it takes so long. Hi, Aaron. Aaron's got the great name. Says hi to everybody. Too many Aarons in this chat. Aaron's the best name. That's why. I need an update. Yeah, exactly. I need an update for myself. Where's the Fire? I don't need updates, Aaron. I don't even use Google anymore. I just ask the wife. She knows everything. Switch 3. So tell me, because this isn't just me. I've had several Play Acoustics with this same bug. I don't see many people talk about it, only a couple. But if you use the Switch 3 as a guitar boost and you plug it into your Play Acoustic and turn it on, the Play Acoustic doesn't say the boost is on when it boots up, but it is on. And the way to fix that is to turn the boost off by pressing it, and then you press it again on the Switch 3, and then it's reset, and then you're good to go. When you press it, it will say boost on, and the boost is on. So I'd love to know if you have that same issue. I'm sure it is with all of them, because I've had like 4 of those now. They all have the same thing. Might have another guitar, says Lee. I got a full refund. That's good. Good to hear, yes. I don't like hearing horror stories of buying gear online. Oh, good. Joe's in Plymouth. Nice. Play Acoustic with Switch 3. Yeah, so I have... I'm going to show this, actually, because I do like this pedal a lot. Probably my favorite pedal of all time. Not perfect. What is perfect, right? But my go-to for many years is this pedal. And like I said, this bug isn't even a big one. Oh, they've got a demo model right now. If anyone's shopping for one of these, that's a good price. So this is an all-in-one pedal. The way it works is, for me, I set the guitar to always sound the same. And then these preset up and down controls, they just change the vocal harmony or effects. They don't change the guitar. So my first preset is like a harmony above. And then if I hit the talk button, that's what turns that on. And if I tip and you see it light up, and if I press it again, it goes back to regular mode. If you hold it, it mutes the sound, gives you a tuner, and also can boost the voice so they hear you talking better in between songs. Really clever, really well thought out. And if I go up to another preset, that would be, say, vocal delay. Another preset, that'll be megaphone voice. Another preset, that'll be a different harmony. And you turn it on and off. And I just have 15 of those saved for the show. Fantastic. If you press those left two buttons together, you get the looper, and you can then use a 3-button looper. And if you press the right two buttons together, you get the tap tempo. That's a bit fiddly to do on a show, so I plug in the switch 6, which then gives me 6 extra foot switches to do other stuff. And I assign them to loop record on button A, or button 1, loop delete on button 2, guitar boost on button 3, guitar delay on off on button 4. Sometimes that seems to randomly turn on or not play correctly on the delay. That could be another bug. And then button 5 for me is tap tempo. Actually, I don't use a switch 6. I use a switch 6 on Sundays for the live stream. But I actually had a switch 5 made as a custom pedal in order to take to my shows, simply because it would fit in my gig bag, my cable bag. But that has now started to go wrong. So now I have to find a new switch. I was going to get just a switch 3 and then just do away with the delay and the tap tempo. But they're all, of course, they're all out of stock right now, as everything is. So if you have any recommendations, do let me know. But yeah, the bug I have is when I plug that in, have a boost setting, the boost is already enabled, the guitar is way too loud, I have to press it twice to clear it out. But am I contradicting myself? I don't care, because I love this pedal, and I've just got used to doing that every time I use it. There's nothing that can replace this. With other pedals like the guitar amp modeler things, there's so much competition right now, and they're all just struggling to beat each other with the firmware, right? So, that's not it. They're so hard to find. Now you can use this one. I actually have one of these. I think I'll use this one tonight when I play. The only problem is the buttons are close together, but it's simply a 3-button foot switch with a TRS connector. That's all it is, this kind of cable with the 2 stereo lines on it. So this is okay, and that's nice and small and compact. But there is an official TC Helicon Switch 3. The Switch 6 is excellent, but it's very long and very heavy, and it won't fit in my gig bag. So this is the Switch 3. There's actually a new Switch 3. This is the old Switch 3 with the white line on it. And this Switch 3 is pretty heavy and big, which I quite like because it's very sturdy. But this is very big and very heavy. They've now released a different version of this that doesn't have the white line, and they've made it much smaller, but I'm told the switches are the same space apart. So I'd love to get that one. But they are not anywhere right now. They're all sold out. Everything's on order. This is the Switch 6. Now this is ideal because it's got 6 buttons on it. But it's really long, as you can see, which is good because the buttons are spaced out. I have this. I use it on Sundays at home. But it's pretty heavy and it's very long. So the weight of this is, well, I don't have it, but it's 15 inches, over 15 inches long. So ideally, this is the one to use. And then for me, just because I want everything to fit into my little bag, I want to get the Switch 3. But look, on order, 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 of course. So I think I'll use that Digitech one tonight, once I find it. But yeah, great pedal, great pedal. And when TC Helicon were active, they did release a lot of firmware updates. They added a lot of functionality to a lot of their products. It's really, really cool. But of course, nowadays, since they got bought by Behringer, they're pretty inactive, which is a shame. Yep, play acoustic with switch 3. The only problem with that is then you can't have the extra switches for the guitar delay and the tap tempo. Although you can always press those two buttons together on the unit to access the tap tempo if you don't use it that often. But if you use tap tempo all the time and the delay all the time, it's good to have the switch 6. And you could even have another switch for chorus or something else. So I do like the switch 6. It's just very bulky and hard to use, hard to carry. Lee says, firmware ruined my Sonos home stereo system and they can't return it to its former state and it's out of warranty. Yep, firmware can, they call it bricking. A firmware update can brick a device and you have to send it back to the manufacturer to have it fixed and you might have to pay for that. That's a real drag. Oh, good. I don't mean good, where's the fire? I mean good as in I can relate to this. My Switch 3 is the same. I have to press twice to regulate the boost. Yeah, so it's everyone. It's not just mine, it's everyone's. Like I said, I've had about 3 of those over the years. They've all had the same bug. Jim says, I'm late. You started without me. It's like Arctic weather here in Vermont. Well, Jim, I did say at the start of the live stream, we're going to wait. We're going to sit here and wait for Jim. And we waited about 25 minutes for you to come. You just weren't here. We just had to begin. I'm just kidding. Don't forget, these are all on replay. You can go and watch them at any time. In your own time. I was going to make a dedicated video about firmware. I don't really want to be, I don't want to say, it's not negative, it's not a rant, but I didn't really want to make a video just, maybe I will, I don't know. I find it a bit of a negative subject. Like I said, it can be a positive subject as well. And who knows, once these updates come in the next few weeks that we're expecting for some of the products I own, perhaps I'll be very happy and I'll be more positive about updates. But it's easy to be negative about an update when you don't have it, right? Aaron says, I haven't had the chance to own a Play Acoustic, but I'm surprised it's still buggy after so many years of being in the market. Well, like I said earlier, Aaron, they just never updated it. They never fixed that bug. And then it became end of life. So they never revisited it again. And I do believe that some of the people that worked at TC Helicon are not there anymore. So I have to wonder, can they fix it? I'm sure they can, but they'd have to put a lot of research and resources into fixing it, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. That's the fact is, the product is end of life. No one noticed that bug. I noticed it, and it was too late. So it is what it is. David says, good morning, Jim. I can hear your teeth chattering here in Oregon. Yeah, it's very cold. So that's pretty much my thoughts on firmware. Just some advice. You know, if you buy something, be aware of these things. And I just see it happening more and more and more. So please, if you're going to buy something and there is a major issue, do tell the company and return it. Let them know that's not acceptable. And maybe we'll get to a place where things are released in a better state. The only thing is, what could happen is that companies start releasing stuff slower in order to get to that position, which would also be frustrating for some people, right? Because some people want to buy in early and wait for the updates to come. And they wouldn't have that opportunity if the companies took longer to release the product in the first place. So there's always I always say with gear, there's always a plus and a minus. There's always two sides to think about. All right, I have a question from a sleeping lion. So that was my talk about firmware. I say cheers and have a drink from the Soundhole Sniffer mug. If you want to support the channel, please go get a Soundhole Sniffer mug, t-shirt or sticker, or you can feel free to send a super chat. I really would appreciate it. Today's sponsor is the Soundhole Sniffer. Or let me do it again. Today's sponsor is the Soundhole Sniffer. You didn't hear it, did you? Today's sponsor is the Soundhole Sniffer. There we go. Awesome. All right, a sleeping lion says, sorry to hijack. No, it's fine. I'm into Q&A now. It's absolutely perfect timing, actually. What's your go-to acoustic pickup these days? Why does everyone ask me that? It's almost like I do acoustic guitar pickup reviews or something. I'm just kidding. I'm being silly. You got me on the Shatton train a while back, but now also considering a mini flex mic. What's your current go-to pickups? So I do get asked this a lot. This obviously changes, right? I do reserve the right to change this because I do believe that certain guitars benefit better from certain pickups. I also believe we go through phases of wanting different things and sounds from our pickups. My current go-to, if you want the truth, is the LR Baggs Anthem. I have that in a couple of guitars, and I use that most of the time when I'm playing live. Doesn't mean I think it's the absolute best. It doesn't mean I don't like other pickups, by the way, but that's my go-to at the moment. Like I said, that's subject to change. So the Shatton was really interesting. I really liked it in the Dreadnought that I reviewed it with. I didn't like that or some of the other soundboard pickups as much on the smaller body guitars. So I'd like to know, what guitar do you have your pickup in? Is the first question, Lion. And secondly, are you happy with the Shatton pickup? By the way, Shatton are very nice people. I met them at the NAMM show. Very nice. And great pickup, right? That is my dream for a pickup. Affordable, light, sticks in with tape or putty, easily removable, just needs the end pin drilled out. It's absolutely perfect on paper. But I just found it very susceptible to the guitar it's in. I found the same with the Ultratonic pickup too. I didn't like it so much in the smaller bodied acoustic. I liked it in the larger body acoustic. I could have changed some settings, I believe, on that to change it. I never did that. I tend to just review stuff as I get it. I don't like to tweak endlessly too much with stuff. I do with some stuff and not others. But yeah, I tend to review stuff as it is at the time. I actually just dropped the guitar off today to have the new Cole Clark preamp installed. That should be done next week, so watch out for a review of that one. I have to update the Cole Clark review with the new preamp. So you've got a Loudon O23, and I'm considering putting it in. So this Loudon O23, does that have the Shatton HFN right now? I'm going to look it up so I can see. O23. And is yours a colorway? This is the guitar. Oh, it looks nice. I do like Loudon guitars. I've got the Loudon Ed Sheeran that I reviewed for them. But let's be real here. The Ed Sheeran model is not like these, right? These are the full thing. And I've yet to review one of these. That would be a dream for me at some point. I love the look of this. The colorway. Really, really nice looking. Wow. The clear pick guard. Really cool. And I believe Loudon use anthems in a lot of their guitars. So, look, the thing about the Anthem is it's got a mic, it's got a second pickup, the undersaddle pickup. It's got a strong low end. It's great for strumming, solo gigs. It doesn't feedback much. If it does, you can put a sound hole blocker in there. Just make a cutout for the controls. You can get the SL, which has a higher output level and is more affordable. Or you can get the full Anthem, which I like because I can slightly blend a bit of the undersaddle pickup in there as well, so it's not quite as airy. And I just think it's for me that's the go-to. That's my goalpost, right? For me, that's the one. Everything else I compare to that. So. Oh, okay. You've got a new. Okay, so you've tried the Shatton, a different guitar. You just got a new guitar, and there's no pickup and no colorway. Okay, that's fine. So they make the guitar with and without a colorway, right? So like I said, I know that. Well, I also need to know what kind of shows you do. So what I do is I strum with a pick, a very heavy pick, and I do a lot of covers, like strummy covers, you know, Beatles and Oasis, and I really Stones, and I really lay into the guitar. And I do about 80% or 85% strumming and 15% fingerstyle, if that. So for me, the Anthem just strums so well, and the fingerstyle is very good too. So it's also important to know what kind of music you're playing, because I also believe that some pickups are better for some styles of music, and also what you plug into as well, like the PA system even. It really is a whole combination of things. Biggest concern with the Anthem is the unstable transducer changing the acoustic sound of the guitar. You know, I really got to figure this out one day, because I said in the video once that I believe the Anthem mutes the sound of a guitar. I'm going to say this now as quick as I can, Lion, and then one day I must make a video about this and revisit it. I went the wrong way around. I went looking at Martin guitars without playing many unplugged to start with. I went straight for the stage guitars. And I just had this feeling that a lot of guitars I played with the Matrix undersaddles, the hard undersaddles, always sounded a bit better to me than ones with the Anthem in. And I still kind of believe that. And I even did a test one day where I had a guitar where someone else said it didn't sound that good, and I ripped the Anthem out almost in front of them, and they said it sounded as good as their guitar, noticeably better. But then, in the years past, I've also done things like taking it out of the Rain Song guitar, the carbon guitar, and I can't hear any difference. I made a video about it. Can't hear any difference. And for example, now my GPC has the Anthem, and sometimes I play it and think, oh, does that sound quiet? But I check it with a noise meter, and it's loud. Okay, maybe not as loud as some other guitars. I had another GPC that seemed louder, but that was 10 years old. I do believe that these guitars get louder and better with age as well. So I can't 100% say, or even 50% say, that this pickup changes the sound of the guitar. I also wonder if it depends on the guitar and things like that. This is what I say to people. At the end of the day, if you buy a guitar and you're not going to plug it in, do not put a pickup in that guitar, right? Do not do anything to that guitar. You keep it as it is, a beautiful acoustic instrument. Let's face it, Dick Boak said on one of my shows, if you do anything... Oh, was it Dick Boak? Maybe not. So, I mean, someone said on one of my shows, someone very well respected said on one of my shows, if you do anything to a guitar, you're going to change the tone. Anything. Absolutely anything you do and add to a guitar, acoustic guitar especially, will change the tone because your body of your guitar is making the sound and resonating the tone, right? So anything you stick to it is going to make a change. Anything you put under the saddle is going to make a change. When you change the saddles, it'll make a change. So you have to bear that in mind. But like I started with, the Anthem for me is the absolute best aftermarket solution for me right now. Again, could change that opinion. But throughout the years, I've been very happy with it. That was the pickup that I was chasing the sound of originally. That's the pickup I loved years ago that I then went looking at other pickups to match, but with less bulk in the guitar, and just never found one that was as good as the Anthem. So if you play this guitar on a regular basis plugged in, let's say you plug it in, okay, if you plug in 3 times a week, get the Anthem. I don't care if it changes the tone a bit. If you're plugging in 3 times a week with this guitar, and this is all my opinion, by the way. If you can disagree with me, it's fine. But if you're plugging in 3 times a week, get the Anthem, because you're plugging in 3 times a week. You want those 3 times a week to be really great. If you are plugging in once a month, that's a bit tougher. Well, maybe at that point, you should get like a Matrix, very simple undersaddle with a battery in there. Plug it into an Aura or something. That, you know, just make do. That's fine. That can sound pretty good. The one pickup I haven't tried is the K&K with the mic. Well, I've tried my own version of it, and I really liked it. And I know people like Justin Sandico use it, and it sounds really good. The K&K Trinity, the K&K with the mic, I would advise, but you're going to need an external preamp. You're going to have a mic inside your guitar, which could rattle around. And the one that has a preamp inside the guitar sticks inside this huge circuit board, sticks to the back of the guitar. Is that any better than having an Anthem at that point? I don't think so. And it's also going to be more prone to feedback as well, in my opinion. So that's my honest answer. I think there might be more pickups coming in the future. I know there's new technologies coming, like Aura HD, which again could completely change my opinion. Because when Aura HD comes out, I might say, well, I want the K&K in Aura HD. Who knows? Or the Matrix in Aura HD. Who knows? But as of today, I would recommend the Anthem if you plug in all the time, and something like the Shatton if you don't. And the Shatton is great because you can just pull it out and nothing has changed. If you put a K&K in there and glue it in, okay, you can remove it, but you're going to have that glue residue left inside the guitar, which isn't the end of the world. It's the inside of your guitar, but you're still going to have that thought that my beautiful Loudon had the glue and the wood stripped away to remove that pickup. That's my opinion as of today. Like I said, tomorrow it could change, but I'd like to know what you think based on my thoughts there. And if anyone ever does install this Anthem pickup and decides that it changes the tone, then please let me know, because this is all good research as well. One day I'll do something really scientific with this and really measure it and to see. I don't even know if it's the undersaddle that does it. It could be the controls that are on the side. It could be the mic that's on the side. You know, it's funny, Phil McKnight reviewed an Orangewood guitar last week with the Anthem, and he made a comment that the guitar is quiet. And I left a comment on his video saying, Phil, you're a luthier, you're a guitar tech, right? I think this has always been on my mind. Can you do me a favor? Can you take that out of there and tell me if you... He didn't reply. Because at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is, right? But that's the dilemma I faced the last 6 years or longer, 7 years. And it really is a waste of time trying to make something better. Because I don't think that I don't think it exists right now. And the other option is, what I also do, is to buy a Cole Clark or a Maton and have that guitar to plug in, because they're built around the pickup system. That's really not a bad way to go. They're great guitars. And if you saw my comparison of the 3 guitars recently, the Maton did really well. The Maton won, right? I've forgotten already. Yeah, I think the Maton won the unplugged test, and the Maton has a huge pickup inside and a mic inside and cables and a battery box. It won. So what do you make of that, right? Throw some thumbs up. Yes, please do. Good preamp matters as well. Yeah, the preamp is important. The reason I like the Anthem is that it has the preamp inside the guitar. I can just plug in and go, and the battery life is outstanding too. Where's the fire? Thumbs up. Oh, when we say thumbs up, I mean on the app, you know, the thumbs up on the app. But I'll take these ones too. Thank you. Cheers. That's cool though. I like that guitar. I might have to look at that later on. That is a walnut back and sides and a cedar top. Yeah. Be careful with those cedar tops if you use a heavy pick, because Loudon don't put gloss on the tops. You can get a lot of dings quickly, but I see this one has a clear pick guard. That's cool. The Ed Sheeran models didn't have the pick guard, and that would get dinged up really quickly. I just had that little rant, and now I'm waiting to see what a Sleeping Lion says. I'm interested to see the response. Where's the fire? I have 2 Taylors, a 412 and a GS Mini, both with ES2. I have no problems, very rarely feedback issues, etc. ES2 is so interesting because some people absolutely love it and some people absolutely loathe it. It's really interesting. I want to get one to review it sooner than later. And there's also different versions of the ES2 as well. There's the old version, the original version. There's the ES1. There's the ES2. There's the ES2.1. A bit like firmware, they keep updating the pickup. The great thing with that is you can switch out the old preamp board for the new one and get the latest version. So I hear mixed things about that. I hear that it's got a lot of good body sound. It's more realistic sounding than undersaddle. But then some people say it also picks up a lot of finger noise and handling noise too much. And some people say the string balance is off. But I have to see when I try one. Rosanna says, oh, is that made with walnut? I wonder what it sounds like. It sure is, Rosanna. You're going to have to buy one for Lee, and then he can tell us what it's like. Hi, Brad Miller. Love that Strat. Very jealous of that Strat, that G11. Wow. Where's the fire? Nice sound. You like the ES2? Okay. That's the one pickup that's missing from my pickup review series, isn't it? The ES2. Do you find that your strings are all balanced? Where's the fire? Like, is your high E weak? Because you can tighten like the B and the E and the D and the G and the E and the A, but you can't do them individually. So you can turn up like the B and the E, but if your E is weak, you can't turn up just the E. That's one thing I've heard about that system. Does the Nuix Optima Air complement the Anthem? Not really. It's funny. I said to Bags when I checked out the VoicePrint DI, I was like, well, you already make this pickup that I think sounds great. So why are you making the VoicePrint DI? And they said, well, it makes it even better. Oh, it makes it a bit more like a real external microphone, but I don't know if it makes it that much better. I mean, it does make it better, but not hugely. So I wouldn't say you need the Optima Air with the Anthem unless you really want to. No, actually, what you would do is you would turn the mic off, because with the full Anthem, you can have pickup only, under saddle pickup only. So turn the mic off, have that part of the pickup, and then use the Optima Air. That will sound. It'll just sound different. It will sound more like an external mic rather than a mic that's in your guitar. They're two very different sounds. David says, have I seen or tried the Kepma Acoustiflex Go pickup? Let me look this up. I think I tried that at Groons. Yeah, I tried it at Groons. I kind of wanted to like it, and I wasn't that impressed, I think. but I only spent a little time with it, so I would have to spend more time with it to give it my full opinion. Yeah, sometimes with gear, you have to really live with it for a while. You can't just judge it on face value. But it's interesting. It goes in the sound hole. It gives you that magnetic pickup. You can attach other pickups. It's got the effects built in. Yeah, I'd like to try that again at some point. But I don't really want that thing in my guitar either, you know, because it's so big and visual. But I would definitely try it out on like a house guitar to use those built-in effects and things like that. It's a bit like the trans acoustic guitars, right? Where's the Fire says, Roseanne, my GS Mini is the Koa model. Small guitar, big guitar sound. I did have a GS Mini years ago, and it had a Fishman Matrix, and it sounded great. Got a lot of compliments on that guitar. Kepma also sells the Clark Supernatural system, designed by Brad Clark, former Maton and co-founder of Cole Clark. Oh, by the way, what version of the ES2 do you have in your guitar? I'd like to know that. So that's for Where's the Fire? Because like I said, they've changed it a lot over the years. David, he doesn't do them anymore. You know, have you not heard the latest news? I believe that he's not. I think they've still got guitars with it. He has made the system for them, and they have shipped guitars with his system in. But I believe they've now got a new system, and it's very interesting. In fact, I might show this to you because it is very interesting. I haven't actually told anyone this yet. Kepma guitars, right? They have a new pickup. I asked them to send me one. They never did. Maybe they'll do it one day. Not that I expect them to, but I wanted to check this out. I'm going to see if I can find it. They have a new system. It's funny, it looks like the Anthem, but it's got, in some ways, it's kind of cooler. Pickup systems, here we go. Oh, the Clark Supernatural system is still on their website. So I may be wrong. They may not have stopped using them. But as far as I know, they use the Kepma Acoustiflex, the Acoustiflex Go, which you can put on any guitar. The Clark Supernatural system, which you can put on any guitar. I would like to try it. They've got the K1. Oh, they've got a new one that's not... I can't see. Maybe they're not doing it. Sometimes I find things out so soon and it doesn't happen. Let me see if I can find it. It was on Zounds before. It was on Zounds. Don't tell me it's gone. It looked really interesting. Rather than the battery bag, the battery goes into the preamp on the side, and the mic is on the preamp on the side. So everything's on that preamp, and then you've just got the undersaddle pickup. So it's more... Here we go, I found it. It's called the Double A2G Acoustic Guitar Pickup System. And it looks like this. Now it's white. I wish they'd made it fully black, because that would be really inconspicuous. I think I told them that. But look, it looks much like the Anthem preamp, right? The sticks in the sound hole. You got volume and tone, and then the battery lives inside that. So you don't have a battery bag. That's nice. That's going to mean less stuff in the guitar. That's what the preamp looks like at the end, where your jack goes in. And then you simply have an undersaddle, I believe. There's only two pictures. I think there's an undersaddle like the Anthem that goes under your saddle. And then the microphone for this thing is inside this preamp as well. It's the small mini mic like they have in the Cole Clark. So I don't know if it's going to sound as good as the true mic in the Anthem, but it's certainly interesting. And I believe they're using these in the Kepmas, or starting to. I would like to try this. I can't believe this thing would be better than the Anthem. If it was as good as the Anthem, this would be incredible. And if you could change that faceplate to black, wow, this could be my ideal pickup system. Yep, the price is good too. So Aaron says the Anthem SL is pretty small too if you're concerned with sound dampening. Well, you've still got the same mic stuck to the bridge plate. You've still got the battery bag. The only thing that's different is the controller. And those controllers, if you've ever weighed one, are really light. I don't believe. I mean, yeah, it's stuck to the soundboard. I mean, you can test it. You can ask Bags to send you some spare 3M pads, and you can just pull that thing out and play it and stick it back in and play it. You can test these things for yourself. But the problem with the Anthem is, you've got the mic stuck on there, you've got the battery bag stuck on there, you've got the preamp control stuck on there, you've got the thing under the saddle. There's a lot of things to test. I mean, one day I've really got to do this test, so I can just say 100%, this is what I believe. I've kind of done it before, but I need to do it in a more controlled environment and really have an opinion. Of course, by then there might be a new system out. So the Anthem SL is smaller. The only problem with the Anthem SL is, well, the good thing is it's also louder. It's about 8 decibels louder, which is nice. Not essential, but nice. The only downside is it's all mic. You can't blend in the pickup like you can with the full Anthem. And with the full Anthem, that means you can go all pickup and then use IRs very well. Or you can have what I do on stage is I have like one turn towards the pickup, and I like that sound. If I use the SL, I can't get that sound. So bear that in mind. It's a very tough choice to make, I know. But that's why I put them on an even playing field, So S. Willis says, I have an Element, K&K, and Anthem. I prefer the Anthem. However, the K&K Pure Mini is quite good, and many swear by it. You know why people swear by the K&K? Again, I'm getting so carried away today. This is all my opinion. The K&K is really affordable, very easy to install, very consistent, sounds good in most guitars, has a lot of low end, so it sounds good in small guitars, and then with big guitars, you can just cut the low end. That's why it's so good. It's reliable, it's available everywhere. That's why people love it. And yeah, the price is what was it, like $100? That's the cheapest one, right? The Anthem's like $300. So I think that's the main reason. Yeah, of course, you have no battery in the guitar. It's light. It arguably does nothing to the guitar. You can even get the cable for it tight, so it's not touching any of the wood. The cable's not going to rattle, because there's nothing worse than rattling cables in a guitar or buzzing, right? So that's why it's so cool. But for me, I know direct, I've had some issues with feedback. I don't think it sounds amazing. I don't love it. I had some really good success with that and the Voice Print DI. That's worth checking out. The K&K and the Voice Print DI is excellent. So excellent that I told Bags they should make their own version of the K&K. S. Willer says, I have an Element, K&K, A Sleeping Lion says, my main guitar is a Taylor with the ES1, so this Loudon would be a secondary guitar for smaller venues and sets. Leaning at the Shatton to keep it simple and clean and not worry about it. Okay, great. So that you've answered the question. Do not put an Anthem, do not do anything with that guitar. Either keep that guitar completely acoustic and use a clip-on microphone, which is another option. I just saw someone do a video with the DPA mic on a guitar plugged in. Sounded great. You could do that too. You could buy a DPA mic or similar. I think Sennheiser have a version of that coming out soon. I'd like to check out. You could get one of those, clamp it to the guitar. Okay, you got to be careful you don't knock it off. It's not ideal, but it means that you can then remove it and your guitar's back to how it was. And you could even have the Shatton as well and blend the two. That'd be nice too. So yeah, definitely something like that. A larger guitar with a decent amount of bass. The Shatton is a great, and you don't plug in that often. The Shatton is a no-brainer. Definitely do that. Do that. Lee says, I'm trying to buy something a little different, but not saying what it is till it arrives this time. It's 50 years old. It's a 50-year-old Gibson. Hey, Charlie. Hello, Aaron. Always great information here. Hip, hip. I tried, Charlie. Lisa's here. Super late, but hello, everyone. I'm eager to watch this from the beginning. I am definitely in the market. In the market for what? Oh, for a pickup. This wasn't a pickup video. They always end up being pickup videos, don't they? Hey, I'm happy to share my information. Do you know how much time and money I spent trying different guitars and pickup configurations over the years? That's why I made the videos. And by the way, the video reviews I did were not just for the viewers, they were also for me. So when I get that itch and think, oh, maybe I should try that K&K again, I can go back and watch the video and I think, oh, okay, sounds like that. I got that on the Acoustic Guitar Forum the other day. Someone posted some demos of pickups and I listened to them and I thought, yeah, I don't like it. And sometimes it's good to have those recordings and those references to know that you've moved on to a new thing for the right reason for you. And that's kind of a secondary reason why I have the channel. All this channel is also documenting stuff. So I can I can listen back just casually. I can sit back and listen back to say last week's stream and think, oh, that guitar sounded good. I like that. So I'll stick with that. And then I might listen one week. Oh, I don't like the sound. That sound didn't sound right. Too bright. Okay, I'm not going to use that. So it's a great way to research stuff as well. and then get opinions from other people as well, of course. But the truth is, with acoustic guitar pickups, the truth is they're all a compromise, and you only hear the pickup. You have to remember that. I was going to make a whole video about this. When you play an acoustic guitar pickup at a gig, you're not hearing the guitar. You are hearing the pickup. So you could put a basic undersaddle pickup in a $10 guitar. Oh, that's a bit extreme, but you could put a basic undersaddle pickup in a $100 guitar or in your Loudon, and they're basically going to sound like the same thing. But if you use a clip-on mic on your Loudon, you're going to hear the Loudon. And that is why I might go the clip-on mic route if you're only playing it occasionally and it's a beautiful instrument. As long as you're careful with that clip-on mic, that you don't knock it off and that you don't damage the finish of the guitar with the pads on it. You know, I've heard that happening. I think someone said that happened to them. If you're very careful with it, that can be a great way to go. Or even an external mic. If you do small, quiet venues, an external mic can be great too. And even like an undersaddle, like a Fishman Matrix, they sound really good. And have it installed with no controls, or get the Gold Plus like I have in my guitar, and then just have an external mic and blend it in just a little bit. It all depends on where you're playing. But I tend to play noisy bars where people are not listening, so I have to have the anthem so I can get loud enough to compete with their talking. Lee says, no, not a Gibson, but it does begin with the letter G. Second word begins with C. G. Does begin with the letter G. Second word begins with C. What guitar brand is that, everyone? First word begins with G. Second word begins with C. I can't think. Someone tell me in the chat what brand that is. That's driving me crazy. I always appreciate your opinions and experience with different pickup systems. Thanks, David. It's just funny how I've just gone full circle, spent all that time and effort, and just came back to playing the anthem. But I've heard of new things coming, possibly this year, and I'm very excited to try. Very excited to try, for example, the new Cole Clark preamp that's currently being installed. Eddie says a G Martin. G Martin. Come on, everyone. What brand is that guitar? First word starts with G. Second word starts with C. That's driving me crazy. I presume it is an acoustic guitar, because that's what Lee mostly talks about. Cryptic clue would be tangerine. Guild? No, that's not what. Oh, what? I can't get it. Greg Bennett? What's Eddie? Second word begins with a C. GC. GC. Oh, it's driving me nuts. If no one gets it, Lee, you got to tell us, because I won't be able to sleep tonight if you don't tell me what it is. Oh, by the way, talking about Taylor, they released some new models this week as well. But there's been several new models released by companies this week, but very small amounts. There was one company, I think LTD Guitars, released like 40 guitars, and some of them look really cool. But most guitars released this week were very small. On the right page, this is another clue. On the right page. I can't get it. I can't believe no one in the chat can get it for me. I thought that's why we had a chat here today, so you could give me the answers too. Acoustic guitar brands. Well, it's not Harley Benton. That'd be HB. I'm looking on Google for a list of acoustic guitar brands. Well, here's the 15 best. You know, be careful with these lists of like the 15 best whatever, because sometimes they're just like basically ads. which is fine, but sometimes they're just ads and they're all sponsored and they're not actually the best. I've got Taylor Guitars, that's not it. CF Martin and Company, Martin Guitars, that's not it. Collings Guitars, is that it? Oh no, you said GC. Fender, PRS, Gibson, Yamaha, Gretsch Guitars. No, you said GC. That's not right either. Epiphone, Ibanez, Takamine, Seagull Guitars, Blue Ridge Guitars, that's BG, Alvarez Guitars, and Ovation Guitars, and Guild Guitars. No, none of those. Ah, Gibson Custom. Is that a Gibson Custom? Oh, Gretsch Country Gentleman. Now that'd be GCG. All right, Lee, just tell us. I'm going to end the stream soon, so I'll sit here just guessing for another hour. Just tell us, buddy. You won't jinx it. It's not going to get lost this time, I promise. Okay, so anyway. That's my update. I'm really excited to try that Cole Clark preamp. I hope it will be as good or better than the one that it replaces. And if you buy Cole Clark now, do make sure you get one with that new preamp built in, because otherwise they're charging $400 for the preamp if you've got an older version. If you buy the guitar recently, I think they're letting you off and helping you out with that. But bear in mind, like for example, if I go on Reverb and look at Cole Clark, make sure the version you get, if you are going to buy a Cole Clark, has that newest version, if that's what you're looking for. Because I noticed that there's so few guitars shipping right now from Australia that a lot of the guitars that are available are actually using the old pickup system. So for example, let me show you this one. This is one of the new Fat Lady guitars with the humbucker. And this humbucker's been through a few iterations. The newest ones have this cover. I don't think the cover looks as good as the uncovered pickups, but they have a lot less noise. So I would definitely recommend, if you're going to get the Cole Clark with the pickup, I would get the one with the cover for less noise, because I do find noise a problem where I am. And then I'm guessing because it's got the new pickup cover, it'll have the new preamp as well. Oh, look at that neck. That's cool. Sometimes I really don't like that streaked ebony, but when it looks like that, I like it. That's really stunning. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I like this. Where is the pickup? They're not showing the pickup. You'd have to message them and say, can I have a picture of the pickup, please? Like I said, I'm guessing that's a new one based on that pickup cover, but I can't be sure. Lee, I'm not sure what you're saying there. Is that the guitar? I guess it had to be a brand that I've not heard of, right? Let me find another Cole Clark here. I want to find one as an example for that old system. Yeah, here, you see, they should do this. They should show you the system like this. So this is the original system. There is no battery indicator and there's no FC button. That means that's the original one, and if you buy this and it's too late, you might have to pay the $400 to replace it. If you find one with a battery indicator, that's a newer one, and you can replace it for free. You just change the faceplate, because all the innards are already there. You're just changing the faceplate to enable the new features. Almost like a firmware update, right? Oh dear. But you see, there's been so few shipments recently that they all have this preamp in them. So, hey, once I review the new one, I might tell you to buy one of these right now because this is better than the new one. It's unlikely, but again, as with all updates, it can happen. It can happen. So, I bet I can't even find one with the new system. I thought I found one the other day. This is the old humbucker, you see? It's got no cover. I think it looks better, but it's more noisy. Of course, it may say in the description as well what version of the preamp it has. I'm sure, like on that first one that I found, it probably says in the description. If it doesn't, I would just ask them to get a picture of that preamp. So here it says the PG3. I'm not sure if that's the new one or not. I think it is, but I would definitely clarify it so you don't get the one. Make sure you get the one that you want. And I think these are all like used and second-hand and older models. Some of them don't even show the preamp at all. Yeah, I would definitely ask, if you're buying a Cole Clark right now, I would say, hey, can you send me a picture of the preamp on the side, please? And then that LED will tell you if it's the newer preamp. I can't believe that I can't find one with a new preamp on it. Again, there's just not many shipments right now. And hopefully we'll see more in the very near future. I think we will before June. No pictures. Huh. I think this is a new one. That looks really nice. But again, they haven't got the preamp on the side. Yeah, interesting. I know Groon is a dealer. I wonder if they have any on there. I'm doing my own thing now. Ignore me. It's not like I'm live on the internet or anything, right? Search by Cole Clark. So Cole Clark, let's see here. The problem is with a lot of these listings, you got to be careful because they don't put the preamp on there. They don't show. Look, you can't see it. Oh, here we go. There it is. There you go. You see, if you look really closely there, you probably can't see it where you are, but I can see it. On the left side, there's a little tiny cutout where it's the battery light. It says BAT above it. I can just see it there. So this is a newer model, and it doesn't have the FC switch on the right. This is what toggles the new mode on and off, but they will send you basically a faceplate. You just take that faceplate off yourself and put the new plate on, which gives you that switch. It adds the switch. The switch functionality is already in the guitar. That will add the switch that allows you to turn the functionality on or off. So this is a newer guitar. This is actually very nice. This is a Blackwood. Blackwood is great for stage, by the way. Sunburst. Look at that. That's a cool guitar. Really cool guitar. And it's got the new pickup system in it. Yeah. I like that a lot. There's another one here with a lighter fretboard, and I can do the same thing again. I can go to this picture. Yep, I can see it there. It's got the battery light. As you would expect, maybe some of the older guitars they have here will have the original system. This one is like mine, the Fat Lady 2. Let's see if this one has it. I think it does. I can't really see in that picture. I think it says BAT there. Anyway, the point of that was, if you're buying a Cole Clark, try to get one with a battery light, because that means you've got the latest preamp system. Right. So, oh, a Gianni Craviola. I've never heard of it. That's why I couldn't guess it. Let me look this up. Oh, wow. Doesn't strike me as your style, Lee. It looks like a lute. Then again, you are British, so I can imagine you playing a lute. Is it like this one here? Is that what you ordered, something like that? I thought you only liked traditional Martin guitars. I got a super chat. Thank you. Give one of these. Jason Zebra. Thanks for being here. Thanks for super chat. I appreciate the support for the channel. Any super chat donations or coffees will go back into the channel to make the channel better than it is now. No comments, please. Here's my buy me a coffee link in case anyone wants that. But I like super chats on YouTube because it makes me look good to YouTube, I think. Have you spent any more time with the JBL Eon Mark II looking at a battery-powered PA for acoustic gigs? I've also seen it paired with a Mackie Thump Go. Right, I'll answer that because you gave me a donation. So, if you just got here, Jason, you should go back and watch the start of the video because I spoke about my thoughts about firmware and how it relates to gear, and that's exactly how I feel about this speaker. I've used this a couple of times and it worked well, but I don't think it's so far, I don't think it's got enough volume for all my shows. So do bear that in mind. I'm comparing it directly to the PRX1. And on paper, the PRX1 is a lot more powerful than this compact. We know that, right? Based on the specs, we know that. That's just a fact. I did use it at a small party in the basement, and it was fantastic because it was a very small room, low ceiling, it worked perfectly, it's battery powered. It's so nice when you can just turn up to a gig like that, throw the thing down, turn your phone on and stream music and start playing the music. You can almost start playing music as you walk in the door because it's wireless, everything's wireless, right? So it has its place. I think it's great. And there's not much else on the market like that, right? The Eon Mark II, there's not much like that on the market. So I do think it's a good product. I do recommend it. But I also know for myself, a lot of shows I do are outside, bigger rooms, noisier rooms. I would go for the PRX1 or different PA system. Now you just mentioned something else. You said about pairing it with something else. So that's cool. The Thump Go I haven't tried. I'd like to try it. You're right. You could pair it with that. You could pair it with the JBL Eon Compact, which is really great. It's a great speaker. I did it that day at the first party I mentioned. I had the JBL Eon Mark II in the room, and then I had the Compact outside connected via a cable, so the music was outside and inside, and the whole thing was battery powered. So definitely got its place. Definitely a very good product. I've also used it outside at a very small wedding as well. The only issue I have with that is that, just like all gear, right? You might need more. And if you need more and you don't have more, that's a problem. So if you can get 2 of those, or if you know you're only using it in small rooms or low ceilings, if you know it will work for your environment, this all depends on the gigs you do, right? If you do a dance class, or if you do busking, or if you do a regular venue, it's always the same, has a low ceiling and people are listening to you play, this thing is great. If sometimes you show up to a gig and you've never been to the venue before, and it's a huge room with a huge ceiling and people talking loud, then that could be that's what scares me. I don't want to show up and it's not loud enough. So you either take a backup speaker with it, like the Compact. The JBL Compact is so highly regarded. So that with the Compact would be a great rig. And if you want something bigger with more low end and more power, I would get the PRX1. But watch the start of this video where I talk about my thoughts on firmware, because I feel quite strongly about that at the moment. Having said that, I do believe, see, I'm a victim of my own thing now. I do believe JBL will update the firmware very soon, or at least by June. But it's all on a whim, isn't it? It's all on a promise. That's the type. Okay. Oh, interesting. I never thought you'd get a guitar like that, Lee. But you know what? It's good to do new things in life. I tend to just buy Strats over and over again, and guitars like this over and over again. So it's good that you're buying different guitars. That makes a lot more sense. Should be commonplace sitting down, right? The colorway in the body is like where your leg goes. Look. Talk about an arm rest. That's a knee rest. That's a thigh rest right there. So thank you for the super chat, Jason Zebra, and I hope that answers your question. Feel free to ask any more if you need more clarification. But I gotta say, the JBL, the new ones, they sound really good. The app is really good. I want the app to get better. I'm not recommending it or doing a full review until the app is where I want it to be. I hope that will be by June. When I use it, I don't use the app, so it doesn't really bother me, but I want the whole product to be 100% before I really push it. And I prefer the sound of the PRX1, but like I said, it's a bigger sub, more speakers, more power, so of course it sounds better to me. The Eon Mark II is just so impressive for the weight and the compact size, and it'd be absolutely ideal if you're doing like a gig on the street or something, like moving around and need that portability. But otherwise, I would probably go for the bigger one. And Lee says, if it comes, I'll do a viewer's comment. That would be great. Yeah, I want you to do a full video, a demo of that. Do one like me. Hi, I'm Lee, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And this is my new guitar. That'd be cool. All right. So, David Belcher, thank you. Max Braden bought me 2 coffees, and David Belcher bought me a coffee, and T bought me a coffee as well this week. So I really appreciate that. Buy me a coffee, Aaron Short Music. And maybe something cool happening in 2 weeks' time. You have to stay tuned. More information will come next Monday on our Monday stream at 4 p.m. We may be announcing something really exciting. That's Maury and myself. But we're not telling you what it is yet because we have to confirm it. And we're going to wait till Monday, and there'll be a huge party and reveal on Monday of what we announce. I think you're going to really love it. It's going to be really exciting. I have a lot of videos to do. I got so many videos done last week, which was great. Really great last week. I had a lot of videos out. Please go and watch them if you missed them. I've got lots more to come. I've got to do the OMJM versus the custom shop version. I've got to do a review of the Silver Sky SE. I've got so many videos to do. It's great. I love being busy. I love having things to get done. It's awesome. Oh, look, Tone Wars is here. Good to see you, buddy. You would have liked our chat today. I was talking about firmware. I know you've made videos talking about similar subjects as well, about buying now or buying later based on firmware. So feel free to go back and watch the start of this video when you've got time. And I think you'll probably agree with what I say. Maybe. Hey, if you don't, that's fine too. Is it Lee's getting a new guitar? No, Lee, it's even more exciting than that. You know, that is very exciting for you, that you're getting a new guitar. I think you'll be even more excited. You know, maybe you won't. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe our announcement on Monday won't make you excited. But we'll see. So I missed the beginning. New Helix. Well, that's your fault. You missed the beginning. No, but there's a new Helix update coming any day. Apparently, the word on the web is there's a new Fractal update coming any day because they have open betas where anyone can try them. There's a Quad Cortex beta out right now, which is private, which is 1.3, which is adding a load of new stuff. And I've heard nothing from Kemper recently. So there's a lot of new firmware about to drop. And when they all drop, I will definitely review them and talk about them. Definitely. So I did like a 30-minute talk at 1 o'clock. The first 30 minutes of the show was me talking about my thoughts on firmware and the pros and the cons and why it's can be very frustrating if you don't look at it the right way. So go and check that out when you've got time later on. Is it Maury can sell to the UK? That'd be exciting for him, right? But I don't know what he would do if he could suddenly ship worldwide. He'd be so busy, wouldn't he? How would he keep up? I'd have to go there and help him ship guitars. Can you imagine? No, Lee. Well, I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to think about it. But we're going to reveal it on Monday. So you have to be here on Monday to find out what's happening. It's going to be really great. If it happens, not confirmed yet, it's going to be fantastic. So I'm going to wrap things up. I've been on for a while. Thank you for your super chats. Thank you for your coffees. I really appreciate you being here to chat and hang out with me, talk about gear. I will see you on Sunday for the live show, the live concert. And then my regular schedule is Mondays at 4 p.m. EST, acoustic guitar focused. Wednesday at 1 p.m. EST for gear chat. And then Sunday at 4 p.m. EST for the concert. Once again, lots of videos coming all the time. So subscribe and ring the bell. It will tell you when I go live and you won't miss a video. And if you can watch the videos and leave a comment and a thumbs up, I appreciate it. It all helps me grow the channel. And my goal this year is to put everything I can into this channel to grow it into something bigger than it is now. That'd be really great. So I want to say thanks to everyone again. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you do. And I will see you in a video very soon. Bye-bye.